Our next guest is a literal Hall of Famer on the football field, but the work he's doing off the field, perhaps even more impactful, empowering kids. We're joined this morning by the Hall of Famer and Raiders legend, Tim Brown. Good morning, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
You okay, Ashley?
Yeah, Raiders.
Good.
We're good. The town.
They say it louder for this Bronco guy.
So we were talking right before we came on the air about your first NFL play was a kickoff return for a touchdown against my Chargers, and then I asked you, did you have a welcome to the NFL moment in your first training camp when you were a rookie?
Well, the very first play in training camp, I lined up against Mike Haynes.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Also a Hall of Famer, I believe, correct? Yeah.
Yes. And he was talking to me out the huddle. You know, hey, rookie, what you got, rookie? What you got, rookie? And, you know, his wingspan is he's known for having that 7-foot wingspan. So I literally came off the ball and I just ran in place. And he just died laughing. Yeah. But it was a moment that I'll never forget. But they helped me out. Him and James Lofton really did an incredible job helping me get ready. Because if you recall, my last year at Notre Dame, I was in the wishbone offense. So I was in the backfield in a three-point stand.
Yeah.
So I go from that to facing Mike Haynes, in training camp.
Were you thinking when you were at Notre Dame, Coach, I'm about to go into the NFL as a wide receiver. You are killing my draft stock making me play the wishbone. For folks who don't know, the wishbone is a very run-heavy offense. Yes.
Well, Coach Oates had told me, before the season, hey, son, you're probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. And my quarterback gets hurt the first game. He pulls me up, son, you're not going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Turns out he was wrong,
though.
Well,
we had a couple punt returns that really helped. So that did the trick.
I want to ask you about a guy who is going to be a rookie this year, Fernando Mendoza. We just drafted number 1 overall by the Raiders. I laugh because his image could not seem farther from the Raiders. But knowing the organization the way you do, how do you feel his fit will be there?
Well, strangely enough, that's what they said about me.
You were also.
I mean, that my image didn't fit Notre Dame. Look, I think this guy has a chance to be great, right? Yeah. But the only way he's going to be great is the people around him have to be at least good. So the offensive line has to be better. The receivers have to be better. I don't think Jonte really got a chance last year to really show what he can do, but he has to be better. And I think if that happens, then this guy can do what he's capable of doing. But he's not going to be the savior here. Everybody else has to do their job also.
You think he should start this year, or?
I think eventually he will start. He will play some games.
This year, you think?
Yes. Yeah. Whether that's game 1 or game 15, I certainly think that he's going to be behind center, no doubt about
it. Do you feel like, because I would imagine you've been in touch with the organization, to me as an outsider, it feels like things have changed, that maybe they've turned a corner and that there's more stability and more positivity in the organization.
Yeah, I joke with Spivak, when I was there for the draft that, hey, this was the best draft that you guys have, the Raiders have had since they drafted me, right? Way back in the day. And I really think their offseason was great, bringing in the offensive lineman, bringing in some defensive help, bringing in a receiver, a guy who can more than likely be the number 1. They hadn't done those things in the offseason. Then you have a really good draft. I think the running back they got from Arkansas is going to be a player. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be a number 2 that when he comes in the game, teams are going to be in trouble, because he's primarily a number 1. So I think that what they're doing now is really good, man. Now, it's like I told Spivak, you can have all these great players, but players got to play, man. You got to make plays.
Sadly, as a Chargers fan, I agree with you on all of this, because I feel like you guys are going to be much better too, and that's just one more thing to worry about. I want to ask you about Notre Dame. You obviously are a Notre Dame legend. They were just outside the college football playoff last year. There has been talk that wouldn't have happened if they were in a conference. Do you think Notre Dame should join a conference?
No. And they will not. Well, I mean, why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, as long as they have a path to get to the NCAA championship game, they're not going to join a conference. And people have to realize, and people probably don't know, when Notre Dame first started playing football, they tried to join the Big Ten. They tried to join they tried to join all these conferences, and nobody would allow them in. But now everybody wants them in. You know what I mean? So, and I don't think it's an arrogance thing. I just think that what they have going is so special, being independent. Because now they can go all around the country and bring players in from everywhere. I just don't think there's a reason for them to do it at this particular
It's the biggest brand in college football.
Well, you know,
none of them necessarily need a conference.
That's what we say, you know.
Yeah. So you're here in town. You're doing a couple of events. One is for your organization, which is called 911 for Kids. For folks that don't know, explain what that is.
Well, initially, 911 for Kids, we teach kids the proper use of 911. I think at this point, we're over 5 million kids that we've taught the proper use of 911. I didn't think that was a big deal until you talk to people and they tell you that when kids are calling 911 because the cat is in the tree or the water hose is loose in the front yard, it takes up time. It takes up time, and so we've been able to do that. We had the kids out yesterday at the Capitol reciting what they should do, and usually we give an award or two to a kid who has done something heroic by calling 911. This year we actually had the incident that happened at South Lake Tahoe last summer, and we also had a dispatcher who was able to decode a young lady who was being trafficked in the car.
That's incredible.
And they, just by literally talking in code, were able to get this young lady rescued. So we were able to honor those people. So so I think the mentor mini camp, what we do tomorrow, is our way of hiding the mentorship with a football camp. Yeah. Right. So we're trying to get we're probably going to have about 150 kids. They like to use the word disenfranchised. I don't necessarily like to use that word, but kids who grew up on the other side of the tracks, and maybe don't have mom and dad at the house. It's an opportunity for us in a couple hours to show them that people care about them, introduce them to some mentors who are here in town, who they can reach out to if they ever need help, and just hope that there's a connection there that will help these kids get through life.
Yeah, because the kids they're paired up with CHP officers, and you're going to be out there doing the mini camp.
Yes.
How much fun is it for you to see them going through all this with an NFL legend there in front of them?
It's fun. It's fun for me. Now I don't know if my shoulder can handle throwing these passes like I used to back in the day, but it's a lot of fun. And of course, all these kids have hopes and dreams of being in the league, being in a big-time college program, and I'm constantly trying to direct them to education. The football part is going to, if you're one of one, if you're that guy, that's going to happen for you. But let's make sure we get this part of it, because no matter what happens, I played until I was almost 39 years old. Yeah. Well, I had a long life after that. So, having an education has really paid off for me, being able to continue what I'm doing.
Is that one of the reasons why you chose to go to Notre Dame? Because you are the one of one. I mean, you made it to the NFL, you made it to the Hall of Fame, but the education that comes from a Notre Dame
when I walked out the door, mom and dad said, "Hey, boy, there's no future in football for you." Literally, that's what they told me. Go up there and get that education and get on back home. And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, yes, sir." And when Coach Holtz got there, going into my junior year, I was just a guy at Notre Dame, right? And he pulled me over like, "Hey, why aren't you not doing this?" And I was like, "Coach, I'm here to get an education. I'm going to go back home." He was like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" He was like, "You can win the Heisman Trophy." I was like, "Come on, Coach." But I mean, education was the reason why I ended up with a Heisman Trophy in a 17-year NFL career.
Well, he is the great Tim Brown. We always love having him stop by. You're probably going to be asked for about 17 autographs on your way out the door, so we'll let you get going with that.
Only this Bronco guy. I just make sure he gets
Listen, I recognize greatness when I'm around it, so I'm very impressed.
Tim, thank you very much.